Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show, and you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hello, welcome to episode 162 of your third favorite podcast, The Steve and Crypto Show. Of course, we're presented by thestevestrout.com. I'm Steve. Crypto Zoo is not here today. We had a crazy windstorm in our area, and a lot of us lost power, and unfortunately, theirs is going to take a while to get put back on. So I am flying solo for this intro. With that being said, we've told you a million times a lot of places you could support the Steve and Crypto Show. You could head over to buymeacoffee.com/SteveCrypto and kick us a tip. You can head over to our merch page over on Etsy, where you'll find a variety of awesome merch. We got t-shirts, mugs, coasters, bags, hoodies, all kinds of stuff. Head over to Etsy, search Steve and Crypto merch. You'll find the page. Go check it out. I run discounts on there all the time, so keep an eye on it. Buy some stuff. It all comes back to the show. Any proceeds, there's not much. We don't make much off of that stuff, but it does go back into the show. Helps us with hosting the show. Gets us to events. We get invited to a lot of events. We can't make them all because you get invited to a show, you get space to promote your stuff, but you usually got to get your butt there. So that helps with stuff like that. It helps us upgrade equipment for the podcast. All kinds of stuff. The best way to support us is by joining our Patreon. For as little as $1 a month pledge, you can get access to all the extra stuff we're posting over there. We like to use Patreon as a way to let you guys into our lives beyond our horror and stuff that we do here on the main show. I mean, we get into the horror over there, but we do other things. We go to concerts and talk about them, family outings, games, just all kinds of things. We bring friends on. We talk about music. Speaking of bringing friends on, we had our friend Daniel Haynes. He's an author. He's just finishing up a novel, actually. It's going to be released, hopefully, in the coming months. But he's going to become a contributor here on the Steve and Crypto Show. And kicking off this weekend, actually, as long as we get the show out in time, the weekend of March 1st and 2nd in Evansville, Indiana. They have the Evansville Horror Con. And Daniel's going to go down there and cover that show a bit for us. And he's going to join us back here to talk about it. And it's going to be an awesome show. We're going to have old friends of ours, Brett Wagner, The Big Schwag, Felissa Rose, Tyler Main, Dave Sheridan, Danielle Harris. There's a lot of awesome guests. Definitely, if you're in Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, take the trip to Evansville, Indiana, March 1st and 2nd, 2025, which is probably this weekend. So make the trip there. Go find Daniel. Find him on social media. Hit him up. Tell him you're going to be there too and meet up with him and say hi. And yeah, check out that convention. It sounds like it's going to be a really good one. I wish we could be there ourselves, but we're there in spirit, and we have an awesome person representing us. So check out that con. Just search for the Evansville Horror Con online to get ticket details and everything. I'll post a link in the show notes to that convention, so you can get tickets. Of course, we're also on social media. He's CryptoZoo88. I am the Steve Strout. We're on pretty much all the social media platforms. And we also have the Steve and Crypto Show Facebook group. Go on Facebook, search for the Steve and Crypto Show. Get in the group. If you're creative, got something to promote, if it's in pop culture and horror, post it in there. Share it. Spread a word. We love, obviously you listen to us. We love to promote people and show love to people. And so get in there, join that group, promote your stuff. There's a lot of people in there that are looking for new stuff to support. So get it in there. Spread the word. Add your friends to the group. Let's make it a thing. Let's make it a party. All these links and everything to all these places you can support us will be in the show notes as always. That being said, I am very excited about this episode. You guys know I am personally a huge fan of horror hosts, especially the Svengoolie show. And, a while back we had Sarah Palmer, who've gotten to be good buddies with. She came on, she played Gwengoolie as part of the Sven squad on the Svengoolie show. She was a great guest. Awesome. I definitely want to have her back again. But this episode, we have another member of the Sven squad. We have a actor. He's a stage performer, puppeteer. He does all kinds of stuff. He's just an all-around talented dude. His name is Scott Gryder, and he plays as the imp in the Sven squad. He was nice enough to take some time and chat with us and hang out. And you know what? He was a funny ass dude, and I am glad to talk to him, and I hope to connect with him someday and do some cool shit. Let's get into that. We're not going to waste too much time. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I'm working on a bunch of things. I got some writing to do, working on some articles. I got some lines to record for some movies I'm working on, all kinds of stuff. It's just been crazy busy that with the show and having fun. And hopefully you guys have some fun with this interview with Scott Gryder. I don't know if it was much of an interview, but just a fun conversation with a good dude, talented dude. Anyways, let's get into that, and we will be back to close out this episode after this chat.
Hey, I'm Felissa Rose, Angela from Sleepaway Camp, and you're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. Yeah!
Hi, this is Pinna Palmer, aka Sarah Palmer, aka Gwengoolie, and I am on the Steve and Crypto Show. Tune in very soon, or now, I don't care.
Hey, Steve and Crypto listeners, we have a special guest. You guys know that I am a huge fan of horror hosts, and in particular, I love Svengoolie. So, I managed to connect with another cast member from Svengoolie. We've had Gwengoolie on here. Now we're going to have the imp. He's portrayed by a gentleman named Scott Gryder. I think he's a gentleman. He seems like a gentleman. And,
I play one on TV.
He plays one on TV. But Scott's here to hang out, and I want to learn more about this performer. He seems like he's got a great energy and vibe on the show. You could tell he has a background in acting, particularly theater, because he's got that theater kid vibe going on, and it's just compared, regular TV actor and theater actor. You could tell the difference. You could tell
most
who's
definitely.
in theater because there's like a projecting and like a more over the topness as you would see in regular acting. But I see that and I love that. I think that's fun. And it's a breath of fresh air on the show. The show is amazing anyways, but I'm glad to have the three of yous on there, and I'm enjoying it, and hopefully you're enjoying it.
Having a great time.
Having
It's
a great time.
incredible.
All right.
Yeah. Dream job.
Nice. Well, let's just jump in. Scott, tell us who you are. Tell us about your little about your history. You don't need to go all the way back, but
I
tell
was
us how you got
born in a small
Yeah.
town.
Small town.
No, I've been in Chicago for about 20 years. I've been pursuing acting. You're right. I came here doing musical theater. And over the years, I found myself on the small screen doing a couple of television shows. And here I am on Svengoolie.
Any notable shows that we might have seen?
Oh, goodness. I did at the Lyric Opera, they did Jesus Christ Superstar, and I was in that. I understudied a couple roles there, and then I was in the ensemble, so that was a rockin' time. Maybe
Okay.
a little too loud for the lyric for the opera house, but we sold out performances, so I guess it worked out.
Nice. So did the theater stuff start before you came to Chicago? Were
Most
you,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. My parents were not excited about it. They are now, but I was gonna be a teacher. I loved art growing up. I loved like crafting things with my
Okay.
hands. I would actually stay after school with my art teachers and like just not even for extra credit, just to like play with clay and art and paint and put things in the kiln. And then when I got to high school, that's when they first offered theater, and it conflicted with the art class. And so I had to choose one or the other. And I was like, well, I know I love art. Let's try this theater thing. Changed my life. Never went back to art. Although I think I would say doing all of that art set me up to like help me with, the makeup that I do, uh, building puppets, designing like costumes and things. I think all of that art background kind of pushed my acting and kind of elevated it so that I've got like bonus skills. So I could basically do a one-man show, which is sort of what we do on Svengoolie. We do a lot ourselves.
Right, right. I hear that you guys do have a lot of the input and you guys do most of your own writing for the bits and everything. Did you have experience writing shows and stuff before Svengoolie?
A little bit. I do. There was a time when I was doing a lot of cabaret in Chicago, and you would build your own show out with songs, and then you'd like connect them with script as you went to song. And so I had developed my own kind of writing style of storytelling between the songs. And so I think that writing for me and my voice, and since Svengoolie, we get to write for our own characters as well. Um, I was already comfortable when they said, "Hey, here's a movie to watch. What would your character say?" It's like, "Oh, I know this." I write it out almost the exact same way I did when I was writing my cabaret shows, and then I copy paste it and drop it into our shared script. So, yeah. Yeah. All of the
And
experience just kind of secretly
yeah,
came together to this point, and now I'm ready.
it's like all the little things you pick up, just kind of finally get to use them all and create this character. So you basically created the character.
For Imp, yeah. I
Yeah.
since the beginning, I don't know what exactly inspired the whole living in the dungeon thing. I've always played sort of the sidekick character anyway. I'm not sort of the leading man type, and so I've always played that sort of mischievous sidekick. And I guess that just inspired me when we were having the preliminary Zoom auditions. We had to bring our own characters. I didn't have a character in my initial audition for the Spawn of Svengoolie. It was just me saying, "Hey, yeah, I've got energy. I love Svengoolie. Let's do this." And then when we had the callbacks and things, they were asking us, "What do you want to bring for your character?" And then we'd talk a little bit about, okay, could this fit the show? Um, is this a strength? Is this something we need? And but yeah, I got to at least. I don't know how the other characters did. How I don't know where Nostalgia Foratu came from, but but for me, I had a lot of input as to who my character was, and even after I landed the role, I got to sit down with the costume designer and talk about. I didn't have horns, and do you want to keep the wings? And let's talk about your makeup and your costume. I got a lot of uh, opportunity for input on what I wanted my character to look like and to be. Yeah.
Okay. Was there something like a character or something in particular that kind of inspired the look that you wanted with Imp?
It's funny you say this. You don't really it's not quite the look, it's the energy. So when I was in high school, I befriended my choir director. I wasn't in choir, but in what do you call it? Study hall, I guess, where everyone has to be quiet and do your homework.
I was
I
in
know,
detention a lot. I don't
I know. Okay, well, it's like detention. You're not supposed to say anything.
know.
But my study hall teacher was a lot of fun. And so after school, she's like, I really want to put on these madrigal dinners. I don't know if you've ever heard like the madrigal singers where they sing all those old timey Christmas things. It's like monks and it's all strange harmonies and things. But they do these things where at Christmas time, they put on a whole concert, and the host of the event is the court jester for
Okay.
it's like based in an old medieval castle. They've got a king and a queen and a princess and all sort of trumpeters and things, and they serve old food and old drinks and things like wassail and or what I don't think it's what I think it's how you say it. But it's the jester that I really latched onto when I started coming in for auditions. I was like, oh, I know how to make mischief. I've been doing this for a very long time, so I added sort of layers of the little mischief maker, and that really seemed to gel with the rest of the cast. So it was sort of my own character. And I for the demon wings for Imp's wings, I just happened to have those. And so I put them on to make myself a little more creature-like, and they just haven't changed. They're actually the same wings, the ones I wear now. I got to keep my own, but they bought the same wings that I had, and they just threw them on me. So
That's got to be kind of a nice thing to be able to go back and just watch your show when it comes on and see like this character from head to toe and personality and everything that it's yours.
yeah, yeah,
It's 100% yours.
so much of it. Well, the name was different. I was trying to think of what the original name was supposed to be, but Rich named me. I got my first script, and the Ignatius Malvolio Frankenstein. They'll call you Imp. So I feel like I got sort of dubbed with, a rubber chicken by Rich when he gave me my name. Yeah, so I'm very proud to have that.
Whose idea was it for the Uncle Sven bit?
It just came out of nowhere.
He
It's
just
like this is the danger and the joy of having absolute freedom of, they give us a script and they say, "What do you want to do?" That's it. Other than, you've got a minute and 30 seconds for this script and you have 3 minutes for this script. What do you want to do? And it's like, well, maybe I want to do a game show. Maybe I want to, let's do piñatas. Can we hit piñata? Oh, sure, sure. Why don't we do, how could we get an inflatable swimming pool into the, you know what I mean? I need a mannequin. I need a,
yeah.
yeah. So when there's like, he's my uncle and the fact that I was raised by Chupacabra, they're just things that were like, ping, 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 lights that came out. I put them into a script and they were like, yeah, that's okay. Keep it.
Go with it. So,
Yeah.
so how was it kind of intimidating the first time you got to do a bit directly with Rich Svengoolie?
I was mute.
Yeah,
I stuck to my lines. I shook his hand. I actually took a knee when he entered the room. I was like, "Yes, Your Highness." We are because
Uncle Sven. Yeah,
Uncle Sven, the set is closed. I mean, we are when you're filming, Sven Goolie's segments. There aren't many of us on the set. It's practically just it's bare bones.
yep.
So it's a very intimate process. Um, so yeah, the the star power of Svengoolie is very strong whenever
It's
you're in
real.
his
Huh?
dungeon
It's
with
real.
him.
It's
Yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's
These days we joke, we talk, I see him at the
yeah, yeah.
I see him at the Xerox machine and we laugh, but I remember at the start I got very schwitzy.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like a really, excuse me, like a just a genuine nice guy though. Like, 'cause I've had him on the show and interviewed
Hmm.
him, and it was just, the first few minutes it was kind of nerve-wracking, but then once you got going, it's like, oh, this guy's an old friend. Like,
Yeah,
it's weird.
yeah, so easy to talk to. And the jokes, he and
Yeah,
and Jim don't stop
yeah,
joking. It's just constant.
they're quick. Huh? Yep,
It is a
yep.
vaudeville show. Yeah.
So he's not far from the actual Sven character. And,
Not really.
uh,
No.
it's cool. It seems like that seems to be the thing with the whole cast now. Like, you have the energy very much like Imp.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Sarah Palmer is very much just, wisecracking, just
Eye
she's
rolling and sassy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Although
yeah,
I
for
don't
sure.
I guess Bill's character is the most that's the it's like strayed from who Bill is. Although that brilliant encyclopedia, that treasure trove of television and movie history is always percolating in both Bill
Right,
and Nostalgia
right.
Ferratu. I mean, you say one thing and you're down a rabbit hole of name dropping and movie titles and I mean, you gotta keep up because he's once he gets going, either as character or Bill, he's got the Wikipedia going on back there.
Right. Did it was it pretty natural for the three of you to kind of gel together and write together?
Um,
Because it feels like it clicked pretty fast, but I mean, you guys have been filming for a couple of years now, so
I don't know if Sarah mentioned it, but we basically had an entire year of practice.
yep.
So we wrote scripts for a whole year after being cast, and we didn't know if any of those scripts would ever see the light of day. So it was really just to find our pacing, our character voices, start to build out sort of our character history and timeline. But of course, along the way, you start working, you work with the same people for a little while, and you can't help but start to gel. Sarah and I lucked out because when we auditioned in person, we happened to be on the same day. So as we were sort of walking out of the studio, they said, "Hey, you two stick around and just do something for us." And Sarah and I turned to each other. We hadn't really even met, and did a couple of quick chat, and we said, "Good, we're ready." And we were boom in it. So Sarah and I have always been just a natural fit, I feel, since the moment we met. Yeah.
Excuse
Bill
me.
also had that a little bit of intimidation factor because he's got quite a resume
Right.
and he's fast. He was a part of the audition. As he was there as Nostalgia Ferrato, we had to come in with our character and improvise with him, and see if we could hang, see if we could make it, if we could cut it, because people were crashing and just getting stumped, and he's like, you just gotta hold on and
So
stick with it. Yeah.
so Bill's like the improv guy
Oh,
of the
he's
gang.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you see if you I don't know if you watch our social media feed, but when we have the jokes and it's like a 1-2 punch where Sarah and I are the 1-2, it builds the punch. He's got the punchline
Throws it
there.
in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of
That's
that's we've never heard it. It's like we're gonna talk about this thing. Sarah, you say this, Scott, you say this, and then Bill, whatever comes out. And I mean, just 9 times out of 10, it's
just nails
always
it.
exactly what you want. Yeah. No
Yeah.
rehearsal. It just comes right out.
That's awesome. I'm enjoying watching you guys develop into this whole thing that's can almost at this point can kind of live on its own as its own separate thing than Svengoolie. Like I don't want it to be, but it's I mean someday it could be if
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
gets to it. But
I think for now, the plan is just to keep them both, so cultivate both as much as possible so you
yeah,
can keep crossing over. And we still love to bring Sven into our episodes. So we still write him into our bits as well.
right.
I don't know how much he looks forward to it, but we're like, all right, oh yeah, and then this time Sven's gonna do this and this, and he's gonna jump on the couch. And then the next day we go, hey Sven, we're gonna need you to come in here and jump on the couch. So,
That's funny. How long are the filming sessions usually? It's like do you guys do like a week on and then
no, we usually do 2 days at a time, but right now the studio is asking for more content, so we've got a couple of 3-day shoots lined up, just once a month. Because Sarah's LA,
yep,
so her coming
yep,
in and yeah, and plus Bill is on the Me TV, the Tune In with Me.
tune it,
So
yep.
and his schedule is wow. I mean, he'll do like 3 days with us, and then boom, next day he's back to being Bill, the cartoon curator. So he's got quite a schedule.
Yeah, because that show runs just about every day, don't it?
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then our producer, Mike Schmiedler, he also works on another show, Collector's Call.
yeah. Okay.
And so we're
Good show.
working and then of course Svengoolie. So we're working through like 4 different schedules, shoot schedules at the same time with people overlapping, and so it's a lot. So we squeeze in 2 or 3 days a month to get a whole episode in.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Um, are there sorry, I need we'll edit this out.
No, no, take that break.
I need a
Wet the whistle. Oh my gosh, I wish I could do that. The
the
whistle. I
little
can't do it.
when you talk,
The
yeah.
little I never have. I'm not. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't want to.
It would be cool, but then if you could do it on command.
Well, yeah,
'Cause
if you could
did
turn
it
it
all the
off.
time, it would be kind of yeah. So what's the plan for House of Svengoolie? Is it going to be a monthly thing for the time being, or
Well, it's growing. Yeah, we
yeah,
didn't know what it was going to be. The original goal was to launch House of Scengoolie as part of the Bonanza
Bonanza? Yep.
every October, and that was it. Because right now, sort of that first year, we were just sort of making sneak peeks on Svengoolie's show and hitting up the social media, but just to take the temperature of his fans, because really our fate was in their hands. If they weren't digging what we were bringing, then either we'd have to change it or it just was not going to happen.
Right.
And after the Bonanza was such a great success, and we just happened to have a holiday show in the can with Sunday the 14th. So, and that went well. And it wasn't until like end of December, early January when we were planning on coming back for filming when we spoke with the head of content at Weigel, Donna D'Alessandro, and she said, so they want more, and we want to do at least one double feature every month. And it was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Because we'd only talked about doing films for the next October. That was it. We were like, good, we got December done. We're going to start filming in January for movies that would air in October. Fine. And now the list grows. We have a list of movies that we're just gonna get to. I mean, we've already started filming for like next month. We're we're producing content
Nice.
so quickly now to meet the demand, which is great because before it was just sort of this, we love doing it. We'll just see how it goes. And now it's like the studio wants more. Yes, that's a good sign. That's
It's
the people
nice.
love it. The studio loves it. Yeah.
So you guys do see a list of films that they're like, here's a list, right for these films, and
Well, it's a big process. Donna
yeah,
fights for films because she has to
yeah,
go to
yeah.
all the people who have the rights, and then
That's
she has to get that they have like windows of time that we can actually air that
yep.
movie. So it's like, oh yeah, we can do this movie, but you can only film it in June. And it's like, oh, okay, so now we have to shift this movie so we can film it for this, so they have time to edit it. So okay, I know we were going to do this movie, but we're going to push that one to June so we can film this one in March, so we can have time to release it in June. I mean, it is a even I don't know if it was today or just yesterday we got an email that said, okay, stop writing for that script, movie change. We're going to do this movie instead in March. And it's like, oh, okay.
Is is there any particular movie that you would love to be able to
Oh,
do?
yeah. There was a time. So, Monster Squad, I love. I grew up
Yes.
watching Monster
Yeah,
Squad. I mean,
classic.
our whole block would get together. The block of kids would come over to someone, and we'd watch it. And we, of course, freak us out. It was scary to us back then. But when Mike was talking about us doing Monster Club, he kept saying Monster Squad, and I was just, I mean, out of my mind. We're doing Monster Squad. And then Donna was like, no, it's Monster Club. And I was like, oh, I mean, not that I
A
don't,
fun movie too.
I
It was a good
get, yeah,
movie.
good movie, but my little like heart was racing, like, oh, finally I get to. So that's, yeah, definitely one that, and
That would
maybe Ernest Scared Stupid. Is that the one? No,
that would be
No, what's the one of the Halloween one? It's
that's
Scared
scared
Stupid, right?
stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that would
also
be a fun
scary.
one.
It was
That would
also
be a
super
fun one.
scary. Yeah, and kind
Yeah,
of gross, the little snotty little
yeah.
creatures. Kind of, yeah, but yeah,
That would be a good one. That
yeah.
I
I
like
mean,
it.
I'm
I
sure
like it.
getting an Ernest film is because not only do you have to get the rights, I mean, you have to be able to afford it. Some of these
Right.
movies, like Gremlins,
Oh,
is just, what crazy.
yeah. I was honestly surprised you guys are able to get like the labyrinth and stuff you've gotten. Like, holy crap, how'd they pull that off? Because
Yeah,
most horror host shows are getting like the B movies and like
yeah, you're not getting these mainstream titles. Yeah,
yeah, but oh man, Monster Squad, that's the one. It's gonna
yeah,
happen. It's gonna
Monster
happen.
Squad. Yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that that was one of the scariest Draculas in movie
oh yeah,
history.
I
That
think
guy
so.
was, yeah,
Oh, he would kill you.
he was intimidating.
Yeah, he
He
would
was
eat the children, no
he was
problem.
gonna he was
He was gonna
bullying
eat
little
yeah,
kids. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's scary.
yeah,
But yeah,
for
that's
a
a good
kid.
one.
Yeah.
So were you did you grow up as a fan of horror movies?
Oh, there's the question. There's the
There it
question. You're the
is.
first to actually ask me that question.
Really?
I've been fortunate enough to avoid having to answer that, so I'm
Well,
not going to. No, no. I
well, Monster
was
Squad, of course. That's
well, Monster
that
Squad, but I
counts.
mean like the even some like the Universal monsters. Trying to watch those. I had an uncle who would watch like Critters and
Uncle Sven.
Langoliers. And what's that?
Uncle Sven.
An uncle. We can't talk about that. Can't talk about him being my uncle.
Yeah.
um, um, no, it just wasn't a part of my world. My home base. We never watched that sort of thing. We were a Disney family, I guess, is the thing.
Yeah.
Uh, and it wasn't until And me, you can tell I've had a very active imagination. That hasn't changed. So I see one thing, and boy, does that linger. What was that? I saw one scene in a movie, it was a zombie movie where someone got sort of like a recreation of the Psycho moment. It was in the shower, and the zombie was trying to kill her in the shower. I couldn't shower with my eyes closed for 3 months. I just looking out the door to making sure soap
Just
dribbling in
watching,
my
yeah.
eyes, making sure the zombies don't come. So it wasn't until the pandemic when you pull up a list because you're stuck at home, and you pull up a list of like the top 100 movies to watch, and 20 of them are horror, and so it's like
Right.
now or never, let's just do it. And then I thought, oh, and then you start to see like the homages that happen between movies, like, oh, this mirrors that, or oh, the lighting in this reminds me of Dracula, and then you kind of get pulled in, and I see why Sarah is like so wild about it because it's such an incredible, rich history there that I missed out on growing up on it, but I think now that this is a great opportunity to really dig in
Yeah.
and yeah.
And you really got no choice now.
Well, and that too. Yeah. But now I want to see it. So now I go to the movies. Like, there's this new monkey movie that's coming out
Oh
about this
yeah,
toy.
yeah,
And none of my friends want to see it because they're all, Disney people too. But I'm like, oh, I'm ready. So now I've recruited other friends to go with me to see
there
scary
you go.
movies. Yeah.
That's that's the thing to do. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
So what was your introduction to? I mean, you've been in Chicago for 20 years. What was your introduction to the Svengoolie show? Like, how did
Um,
you? Were you
I
a fan before
I
getting
knew
involved?
of I knew of Svengoolie, but I
Right.
wasn't watching it. I was working actually at Weigel, WCIU, on a children's show called Green Screen Adventures, and that had about like a 9 or 10 season run, and I was on the last like 4.5 seasons, and like co-star also had writer and makeup artist on the show, Jessica Carlton, had made the original Kerwin for Svengoolie. And so, we'd wander around the office and she'd see Rich and I'd say, "Hi, Rich." And so I got to know Rich as Rich. And I like it was just easy to talk to him and we got to look at the puppet, fix Kerwin, whatever. That was like I was aware of that. And then it wasn't until later that the scope of who Rich was as Svengoolie, and then that took a turn, of course. So I mean
It's
for
like
the
a
for the best, but yeah.
it's like a
Yeah.
it's like a Clark Kent and Superman kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So once you realized who he was, I'm assuming you started watching and then did the audition and all
Yeah.
that fun stuff.
Yeah. And of course a lot of the oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna ask how long was that whole process? Like how many steps were the Spawn of Svengoolie audition, then sending in the video and
I think it was about 20 years.
20 years? Okay.
It felt like about 20 years.
As soon as you moved to Chicago,
As
you
soon as it was
started
Chicago, it was just
you made your audition video. Like
we
before
just
YouTube,
waited
you
to
had
hear
a
back.
YouTube video ready and loaded and
YouTube. Wow. Yeah. No, it's on MySpace. I sent him a link to my MySpace, and that's
on MySpace. Like AOL Instant Messenger or something.
um no, it was an entire year of auditioning. Yeah. So I did the app thing. I was at a theater show, and a friend said, "Did you see this was coming up?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." So I went home and just did one. Actually, it might have been in front of this curtain, or I think I've got a blue curtain. Anyway, I was just like, "Hey, Sven Gulli, love ya. I would love to be part of the show. This is who I am." And months went by, didn't hear anything from them. And then, boom, you get a little email from Kim Swan, who was helping with casting. And she was like, "Do you want to meet on a Zoom? Let's talk. I saw your audition. Let's talk." So then that's my first step. But that was like, so October was the audition. Maybe January, February was the call with Kim. I think she was just screening people to make sure that, we were an actual potential candidate for the
Yeah,
for the
not
audition
some
process.
not some crazy
And not,
a-hole.
yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't that crazy all the time. I mean, slightly, but I wasn't I do burst out in song. That's actually a real trait of mine. But no, then we had, in-person auditions. Then we had an audition with Sven. Um, so it was a long drawn out process. And it wasn't until like September of the next year that we actually sat down and figured out that we were going to be a part of something. And even then, we didn't know it had multiple names. It was the Spawn, it was the Sven Squad, it was, just we were kind of they were still percolating with ideas. And then we still had a whole year after that of filming these practice movies and finding our footing with our characters. So it's like a 2 year audition process basically before we actually aired last October.
Right. So
Yeah.
when you did your first audition with Rich, was it like, hey, I know that guy. I know that guy from the hallway at
No, by then, no, you're kidding. The game had been, yeah,
yeah,
that bar had been raised. So no, I was very nervous, not gonna lie.
yeah.
And plus,
Like,
we were writing our own content for
yep.
for scenes with Sven. I mean, what an honor, but also what a challenge to, you have to stick with the style of his show, and you've just started. Just there was a
And
lot of
and
pressure
I feel
there.
like I feel like there'd be an automatic uh instinct to not try to outshine him or anything, or you know what I mean?
Well, you don't want to be funny.
Try to
Don't try to be funny.
yeah.
Just get
Or try to
enough,
be funnier, just be enough.
Yeah,
Set him up. But
just enough. Yeah.
did he want you guys to hold back, or did he want you guys just bring your
Oh, it was
what you got?
100%. Show up, bring us what you got. Yeah.
Right.
Because
Okay.
little moments like the fact that he has me now pop up beside him, when I do bits with him. And that was just something where we were reading a script and I was like, you know what? Since I'm coming from the dungeon's dungeon, I'm going to come from below. And so now that's our bit is whenever I'm with the scene with him, he's usually saying something and then whoop, hey, Unc, I've got something to say. And he's like, not your uncle. And then we go into it. But yeah.
Yeah. Has there been anything written that he's been like, nope, we're not doing that? I mean, you don't have to say exactly what, but
Let me think. Let me go through the scripts. No, I've kind of gotten away, I think, with most things. Um, there are some things like, and I don't know if this scene if will ever see the light of day, but there's a full size like mannequin doll of Svengoolie that they have, and they keep it in their like cage of props covered in a blanket, which is also very unnerving because it looks like it's the top hat and everything, so it looks like this person who's just sort of been embalmed in this chair. But I said, "Do you mind if I?" And they were a little bit hesitant because, A, do we want to use it in the first place? And B, don't break it. How fragile is it? So I did this whole sort of a workout video where I'm, bodybuilding and I'm basically building my uncle Sven into a new body. And so you can really push the envelope. You can, really never hurts to ask with this show, especially with us sort of developing our characters. What would we do? It's like, oh yeah, I have a good feeling Imp would try something this outlandish, and yeah, they give you the green light for it.
what's been your personal favorite bit that's aired so far? I
Ooh.
mean, I'm sure you love them all, but what one really made you the gave you the most pride?
Um. Oh gosh, there've been so many, and I'm also thinking about what I've already written, which I can't talk about.
Yeah, you gotta.
Um.
Gotcha.
um. Oh, when we did this hit home. It was I felt like I could really dig into my musical theater background. For the holiday special last December, my bit was writing the 666 holiday hits infomercial where we were selling a CD box set of 666 ghoulish holiday hits. And I got to take like some of the biggest holiday um, melodies and turn them into sort of creepy, spooky, ridiculous versions of themselves for us to sing.
Yeah.
That was really fun. Yeah.
That seems like that'd be a good time.
Yeah. I even got Nasty to sing, and he doesn't sing.
Yeah, that's true.
No. So he
Yeah.
went all out. If you can catch that episode again, yeah, he goes full out. Yeah, I was really proud of him.
So you guys write a lot in the show, and recently you guys also got to write stories for a comic book for the 45th anniversary.
Yeah.
How How did that whole thing just from beginning to end? How was that process?
I think for the 45th, there were a lot of moving parts. What are we going to do? Are we going to rent out a theater and do a 3D movie? Are we, all sorts of things. What do we do to celebrate the 45th? And so they were just tossing out ideas, and I'm sure the comic book was a plan to begin with, but they told us so casually. Oh, and then if you want to write a little something, we're gonna, include your story in the comic book for the 45th anniversary. Almost like I'm in my dressing room, getting dressed, and they kind of just, hey, if you want to like write something down, if you want to, we put it in the comic book. If okay, thank, close it. Wait, we're gonna be in the comic book because we had just joined. You know what I mean? It's like, what?
Yeah,
You're gonna let
yeah.
us have a bit of the story for us? Um, and for some reason, and it might have been because I had just introduced Marbles to the show, I wanted sort of an origin story for him. So I was very fortunate to have like that inspiration from my story. And then I took again the little sidekick idea and mixed it with a little bit of Sorcerer's Apprentice, sort
Yeah.
of the Mickey Mouse character that gets the book and things get out of control, and then the magic comes back to gets put away and everything comes back together nice and clean. Um, so for me, I knew exactly what I wanted to write about, but it was again just like our scripts, open ended. What do you want to write about? So much freedom. Who with a national television gets that sort of creative freedom? It's just wild. Such a gift.
Yeah. Um. So when you did your first draft of that, did you get did they make you change much, or were they like, "This is great. We're going with it. We're gonna adjust it a
It,
little bit," and
it was about 90% what I wrote. Yeah, yeah. The only thing they changed was the villain at the end. Um, I had originally written in sort of like the mage who comes back and says, the magic must be stopped, and instead they had the Cyclops come in. Um, but otherwise the story was almost word for word what I had presented.
that's
And then they
awesome.
would give us little bits of draft as it came in. They would send us a little screenshot of, oh, this is what they're thinking for the artwork, or here's a little bit of the main first page, and oh my God, you just scream because it's how can this be real? It just boom exploded.
So I heard on a recent interview that you did that you weren't a big comic book guy. Are you now?
I'm getting into it. I'm not.
Yeah.
You can tell by my energy. I'm not good at focusing on things.
Right.
My energy
Right.
of to sitting still is not for me. It's so hard. Like
Yeah.
when I watch some streaming service, I'm either like walking around, folding laundry on a little treadmill. I'm not good at just sitting still.
Yeah.
So reading of any kind, it's usually an audiobook
Yeah.
if I'm digging into to reading.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned streaming. What what do you like to watch when you're not being the imp or on stage or writing comic books?
You wouldn't believe it. I love drama. I love the dark, serious stuff. So, Severance, I mean, that twisted mystery. What is going on? These people are monsters and the manipulation. And I love that darker side of television. Silo, putting people, which I almost feel. Have you seen Silo, where
Oh, I haven't.
people get stuck underground in a silo of like, and that's their world. They have to live underground. I'm not going to give any other, okay, no spoilers, but it's really seriously, I think about when you watch a zombie movie, it's not about the zombies. It's about the
Right.
people trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. And
Yeah.
this is the same thing, where you have these people, and it's really not the zombies that are the bad people, or it's the people inside who are locked in who start attacking each other and how they
Yeah.
survive or, attack each other. And so that's sort of the same. This silo is like the zombie apocalypse, and you get to see these people who are just at each other's throats because humans aren't supposed to live that way underground, no sunshine, no room. Same with same with zombies, if
Yep.
there was a
Yep.
zombie apocalypse, I would go to there's a two-story Target here in town. That's where I would go because
Yeah.
there's so much room. You
There's
know,
everything you
that's
need there for a
everything
while.
you
Yeah.
need there. You would just find a way to blockade the doors and you could just live in Target for the rest of
Yeah.
your life.
That's what I always say, either Target or Walmart.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
They've got
You'd
better
be all
deals at
set.
Walmart.
Yeah,
Better
that's true.
savings.
That's true. They rolling back the prices for rolling back those apocalypse prices.
End of days. The end of days sale.
And that's a good one. The end of
Ah.
days sale. Um, so doing this the show, do you find yourself becoming more interested in doing more television and other stuff?
It's so much work, Steve.
Right.
When would I be able to? Um, I would love to. I mean, I'd love to actually look into doing an actual full screen film. You know what I mean? Like a full length film, which would be. It's just not my medium. You know, I watch like you were saying earlier. Um, I'm more of a theater type actor, and even I watch these programs like Silo, and some of the actors you can tell have been trained to play to the back of the theater because their eyebrows are quivering in a way that
Hmm.
not natural. And I feel like that's sort of my style is that I'm very big. So
Yeah.
fortunately,
Yeah.
this works in the Sven verse, but I don't think I'm a very unique fit for film and television, I think.
Right.
Not to cast myself out.
Yeah.
If any
Yeah.
casting directors are listening,
Yeah. You got a bag of cash, bring it. But
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I
um,
miss theater. I used to do a lot of theater and I just haven't done that in a
right.
while. Also
Right.
takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of work.
Yeah. Right. Right. So safe to assume that this probably isn't your full-time career at the
It
moment.
is
It's the Svengoolie
it is
show.
not. No, no. I'm very fortunate. I have a very flexible day job. I know, and with the title as long as mine is, you wouldn't think it's the case, but the director of operations and audience services for a small nonprofit in town at the Chicago Opera Theater, um, in Chicago. I've been with them off and on since about 2016, but they've been so flexible. If I go do a show for a summer or that sort of thing, we make it work. Our performance season is very limited, so we I have a lot of time to be able to be flexible with my acting as well.
Right.
So
Well, that title sounds like you do everything, so they kind of need you.
and there's
It's
that.
like
But I
it's
also love, it's the same
yeah.
thing. It's, if we only film 2 to 3 days for Svengoolie, you I wouldn't I'd be bouncing around, running into walls in my apartment. So to have this
Yeah.
other job is just the perfect balance for
Yeah.
my needs, my energy level. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Chicago sounds like a good place for you, though. It's like a good, high energy, fast paced city, so that works. How do you think you would handle living in a small town? Like you're from Texas initially, right?
I am.
Is that what I
Yeah. Yeah.
heard?
Just
Is it
outside of
like
Lubbock.
small town?
So yeah. I
Yeah.
thought about it because I miss the heat. I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
Not that I don't think I like being from Texas. We didn't have a lot of snow where I'm from.
Right.
So the first few years having snow I thought was very romantic. And you get
Yeah.
to a point though where it's just very cold.
Yeah.
And there's some times where I'm just like, oh, if I could just get back to Texas for a little while. And so I've looked in different places, but you're right. There's just not enough of what I need. There'll be some arts, there's some culture, but Chicago has it all. Not to mention, public transportation and incredible parks and just there's so much beauty to Chicago that
Just history and everything.
yeah, I can't.
It's
When it gets really cold, I make a list of all the things that I love about Chicago, and then I try to find another city that has that same list, and it just doesn't line up. And so, all right, I'm not packing
so,
my bags, unpack the suitcase. I'm staying in Chicago.
so you think you're a lifer?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's time to
All
get
right.
that Chicago tattoo.
You gonna get it like on your forehead or
Just right on the neck.
right on
I'll
the
talk to the
neck?
producers, but we'll
Just
see if we
make
can
it
get that
as
approved.
go as trashy as possible. Yeah. Sure, they would love that on the Svengoolie
Oh,
show. Neck
oh. Well, I
tattoos.
also do my own makeup, so it would be my responsibility to hide that.
hide it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would skip that one. At least wait
Yeah, I
till
guess so. They're very
later in
expensive. They're
life.
very expensive. I'm not gonna mess with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they are. They do get expensive. I'm a
They
I'm a
do.
tattoo guy, so
Yeah.
I have lots of tattoos and they do get expensive.
I got little
Um,
ones. I got little ones.
but yeah, I'm like
Mm.
uh
Oh, you got
sleeves
the
and
sleeve.
working on
Nice.
one over here.
Yeah. See, the thing is,
Yeah,
you'd have to tranquilize me. Because, I mean, after about 15 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done.
can't
Stop.
sit
I
that
want to
long.
go. I
Yeah.
have to go outside and play.
Yeah,
So
you
you'd
just
have
gotta get
to
little tattoos.
just, yeah, that's work. That's perfect. Yeah. I was actually at a, oddly enough, I was at a cabaret show, big cabaret show at the Park West, which is a pretty big venue here, in Chicago. And the show was over. I was putting my coat on, and this hulking man comes up to me, and I'm like, oh goodness, here we go. And he's like, I love what you're doing on the show. And I was like, oh, he's like, yeah, I'm a big fan of Svengoolie. And he rolls up his sleeve, and he's got Sven down the front of his arm. He's got the full Svengoolie there. I was like, oh, thanks. He's like, I love what you're doing with the show. And I was like, oh, phew, thanks, man. Thanks for
You
watching.
got a little nervous.
I did. I was like, oh, is
Relax a
he,
little, breathe now. Okay.
what did I do to offend? Is he the bouncer?
That's
Did
funny.
I thought I paid my tab. Yeah,
That's funny. Yeah, man, he's like royalty in that area, Sven.
yeah, yeah.
He's
And I feel
yeah,
like with the House of Sunguli, now we have like more thrust to hit the other coasts. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Hopefully.
so
So are you guys gonna start doing any like appearances in that area at least to start with him?
we're talking about it. I mean, it's a lot of it is again scheduling,
Yep.
and getting the right, people behind us to make it happen. Svengoolie's team and House of Svengoolie, because we share a lot of the same people, so small. There aren't that many
Yep.
of us. I mean, not even
Right.
two hands worth of people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to get us up and moving to something like that, and then having this Svengoolie name behind us, which could potentially be huge, you need the person power to support that, the capacity of the draw, and so that's asking a lot of people who are doing a lot of different programs, along with trying to get our show going. So
Yeah.
lots of moving pieces. Yeah.
So have you had any fan interactions, out in public, or you getting the fan art and mail and stuff?
I've gotten a few pieces of the fan art. You would think in Chicago, I was at a birthday party actually, and I was talking to someone across the room, and the person behind me turns and goes, "Hey, I know your voice. You're on Svengoolie." And yeah, that's me. So it was the voice that triggered it. I guess because of the horns that throws people. When I don't have the horns, I don't look anything like Imp. I don't know,
Maybe you
but
should just wear them in public.
I'll.
Just wear the
I
horns.
it's a yeah. That glue is not friendly.
Just get him
Get him
tattooed.
permanently.
Tattooed. Oh, there you go. Get like the little
That's the tattoo I should
implant
get.
thing. Yeah.
Well, they do have
Tattooed
those
horns.
implants. I wonder if I can get those done. But when I wear like my imp shirt or the Svengoolie shirts, or I love the hats. I love the merch. I'm a big fan of merch. Uh, People don't, even when I'm wearing my shirt, they don't say, "Oh, you're imp." They go, "I love Svengoolie." Like they know Svengoolie.
Yes.
They know the show, but it doesn't click with them that and then I kind of linger and try to get them to, "Oh, is that right? Yeah. What's your
Yeah.
favorite
Just like
episode? Have you been
just
watching recently?" I'm
just
walking around
bring
with
the
my
voice
mug.
out a little bit
Yeah.
more and
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
My
Oh. No,
uncle, yeah, my
nothing.
uncle.
No. Okay. Okay. Well,
There
keep
you go.
watching.
Sure. Cool. Yeah. Um, no, there's definitely he has a following because I know I wear my Svengoolie shirt and most of the time I wear it out, I'll get at least one comment about I love Svengoolie.
Oh yeah.
And people love him everywhere.
Yeah. He's
People
he's easy to love.
we just need to we just need to get him to leave Chicago every once in a while and come to a convention or something
Yeah.
so we can
Gosh,
meet him.
I can't the logistics, but we are talking about it. I mean, that is
Yeah.
something even since we the very first, start of filming, we were talking about going to, some of the theme parks and trying to hit up on their horror nights and things like that in October. And just so many moving parts for
There's a
such a
lot of moving parts.
small
Yeah.
team. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been thinking because we have a lot here in Chicago, or at least in the Midwest. I was like, well, would it hurt if I just showed up at a couple of these things to see if anybody would,
Yeah. Why
because
not?
that would be the fan base.
Yeah.
Um,
You should
um,
check it out.
yeah.
There's a few good, like horror movie conventions and stuff. Those are the people that love the show. Just show
Yeah.
up, wear one of your t-shirts,
Yeah, we'll see.
carry a
Yeah.
mug around, and just walk
Uh-huh.
around.
Yeah. The blanket, put the blanket over my shoulder. The thing is that with the wings on, the wings are not good in crowds. I'll tell you that.
Right.
When you wear the
Right.
the imp wings,
Yeah.
they're not even good in the studio. I'm always having to like, squeeze between
Sit
the
out of the
cameras
way.
and things and try not to knock Kerwin off his rock and things. So,
Right. So where are you personally hoping to go with this? Where do you want this whole world, this new world to go?
yeah. I mean, I love where it's headed now. I love that we're making more content. I think this is great. Um, I feel like we're very fortunate with our team to be able to start looking at newer titles, you know? And I think incorporating a little more of that darker side of things, because I also, like I said, I love the drama. So if we could get our hands on like some darker content, maybe something, I don't want to say gorier, but just the hairier, scarier stuff. Did I say hairier? Heavier, scarier stuff. Yeah, the heavier, scarier stuff. Um, that's where I'd like to see this go, is
Like
kind
the
of
Exorcist.
push the envelope. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street, which I mean,
There you
though
go.
now they're not, compared to, but that sort of stuff, kind of
Right.
dip our toe in the more sinister side of horror, um, would be a
So
lot of
you
fun.
so you caught the horror bug.
Oh yeah.
During a pandemic, you watched the top 100 films and then you got the bug now.
Yeah, I'm
So
interested.
so what's been your favorite horror film that you've watched to this point then? What
Oh,
stood out the most to you?
um, it's so funny. It's so campy. Did you see Smile?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
That
think
was
about it now, it's so ridiculous. It's so over the top. But I think because I love people. I love interacting with people. Like I go to the grocery store for fun. Like I'll go get one thing so that I can see people. I love people. Then I think how like contagious that smile is. It's just I think, oh, that's delicious. Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's my most recent one that really scratched the itch.
Did you watch the second one?
I didn't see the second one. Is it as good?
It's good. I rewatched the first one. Watch them back to back. You're gonna have
Okay.
to sit
Yeah.
still for a few hours, but watch them back to back, and they flow right into each other really well.
Nice. Okay, good.
And
Yeah,
it's
because the
just
ending of the
yeah.
first one, I was like, huh, not quite
Wait,
satisfied. What's going on here? Cool.
no, it
Very cool.
rolls right over into the next one, and we get a little more
Nice.
into what causes this situation. But yeah, it was good. There was some unsettling stuff in that movie.
Yeah. And some good,
Yeah,
I like the jump scares.
yeah,
Oh man. Yeah. That's
yeah.
because I'm the one that's like, I see this coming. I know what's going to happen. I usually can predict how the movie's going to end. I'm one of those that can see, oh gosh, from the beginning, I know and then when I get, spooked, I'm like, oh, good. Didn't see that coming. Okay. Okay, good. Bring it on.
And if you like the drama side of things, watch the. I really like the Ty West trilogy, the Pearl and X and Maxine.
Okay. All right. Ooh, writing it down.
Those were those were good.
Nice.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good horror stuff in the last few years.
Yeah,
I
I feel
mean,
like there's
the Substance.
oh,
That's
ooh, baby.
getting
That
the
was
Academy Award
I
nom
tried
for
watching
best
that on the
film.
plane. That was the
Oh,
worst
on the
idea.
plane.
My anxiety, I mean, I'm good at flying. I love to fly.
Yeah,
That's great. But there were some moments where I was just like, I gotta push pause on this. I'm spiraling. It was
yeah.
just, oh, chaos. Yeah.
How good was Brooke though?
Oh,
She
yeah.
was she was so good in that movie.
Unnerving.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was it was a unique unique take on self-image
and
issues.
aging and yeah.
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 But yeah, it was a good one. But excuse me. What's the next? Did you guys announce the next movie you are doing yet?
Ooh, let's see. We just did Teenagers from Outer Space this time around. I don't know if March has been announced yet. Da-da-da-da-da. When is this going to air?
This will air
Because then I
in
can
probably
tell you.
about a week and a half or 2 weeks.
All right. Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen now in March because I don't know if we're going to be moving films around to accommodate the titles we've just
Scheduling
acquired.
title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're throwing on a third day this month. So,
Okay. We'll let it be a
yeah,
surprise.
very exciting titles. I'm going to tell you, Donna has been fighting for some, cream of the crop movies that are coming out. So, yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I don't want to keep you much longer. Is there anything that you want to add? Anything you want to plug? You want to tell listeners where they could keep track of what you're up to?
Wow. Yeah, that'd be good. Thanks. Yeah, if you want to see what I'm up to, you can visit the website. It's thescottgryder.com. My New Year's resolution, although it's already nearly March, was to actually finally do some live theater and some live performance around Chicago. And the year is already flying by, but the goal is to get back on stage. So if you want to see me do some of my raising the eyebrows to the back of the theater, I'm hoping that comes up real
Yeah.
soon. But yeah, just thank
Okay.
you for, I just thank them for all of their support in giving us the time to become a part of the Svenverse. It's been a real honor. We don't take it lightly.
And uh, any social medias that people could say hi or
Yeah, sure. It's
anything?
all the thing is it was supposed to be Scott Gryder, but when I started doing the social media things, there was like a baseball player who had all of the Scott Gryder handles. So now it's
Son of
the
a
Scott
bitch.
Gryder. I know,
Okay.
right? Yada, yada. And now I look him up. He doesn't exist. He's gone. What happened? He gave up. He saw that I was trending
He
and
knew he couldn't
he's
compete with
like,
the
I can't compete.
popularity of the yeah.
So I was in my state of like harumph. I said, well, he can be Scott Gryder, but I'm the Scott Gryder. So you just search the Scott Gryder and you'll find me. And now actually, I've been doing cabaret for decades here in Chicago, and my fans call me TSG because I'm the Scott Gryder. So hey, TSG, and and now welcome to the stage, TSG. So the Scott Gryder.
Okay, there you go. But well, hopefully we get you guys on a convention or something out here. Would love to actually meet you guys in person, and um, or if I have to come to Chicago, better be during the
In the summer.
spring or
Wait,
summer.
wait.
Yeah, spring or summer. Yeah,
We got a lot of great festivals and things here. So yeah.
yeah. I know there's a few I want to check out. There's like C2E2 and some of the big
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
conventions that I want to go to. But you just next time, I know Rich usually does that when you should just tag along with Uncle Sven and just show up.
Well, we'll see.
Go go
Yeah. I've
go
got the dates in the calendar. I
get in costume and stand in line to meet him and just surprise him. Go
Oh,
meet
he's
Uncle Sven.
the first time he's ever had to call security to kick someone out of the line.
That's funny. Well, Scott Gryder, thank you. Appreciate you taking time. Hopefully didn't bore you too much.
This has been great.
Um,
Thanks, Steve.
yeah,
Yeah, great talking
and
to you.
I love your energy and the work you're doing on the show, and I look forward to more.
Thanks. Ready to bring it.
Hey, it's Svengoolie from MeTV. You see me every Saturday night, but right now you're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. Don't confuse that with the Beeve and Scripto Show, which is Jerry Mathers talking to a pen. You might have to Google that one. Anyway, and please continue to support the horror hosts who are all out there. I'm very grateful for your support, and the fact that we've nationally been successful has actually shown some TV markets that there is a need for hosted horror. So it's great that we're continuing the genre, and we need your support. So please keep supporting horror hosts. We thank you. I do too.
All right, we are back. Thank you to Scott Gryder, aka the Imp, from the Svengoolie show. Check them out this weekend. I believe they're doing a double feature on the Svengoolie show if this episode is out in time, as mentioned at the top. So they're working on some cool stuff for sure for the Sven squad. I'm looking forward to it. Again, if you're in Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Tennessee, anywhere within driving distance of Evansville, Indiana, I urge you to go to the Evansville Horror Con. I mentioned a lot of great guests on there, and do it. I mean, it's going to be a good time. And barring any issues, Daniel Haynes will be here on the next one of the next couple episodes to tell us about that convention and recap it with us for us. And also, if you're a listener and you attend horror conventions and you ever want to do a fun, like a recap or something of your favorite horror convention, come on the show and chat about it for a few, hit us up. Let us know. Let's talk about it. We want to hear your ideas. We love to have our listeners be part of this. That's why we do this. This is for you guys. This is for us. This is our thing. We're like a big, weird fucking family here. So, yeah, let's do it. Let's make that a thing. I mentioned it before, but I'm pretty serious about it. Let's get some fun Steve and Crypto Show correspondents out there. And, I don't know, there'll be cool stuff in it for you. We get some cool perks from doing this show, and we'll share some with you guys too. So get on it. Hit us up if you have ideas. Let's talk. But I'm going to get ready to get out of here and get back to work on, excuse me. Voice is still coming back after that last COVID stint a couple weeks ago. Yeah. I don't know if you listened to the last episode. That was kind of harsh and had a tough time talking. Anyways, yes, keep supporting the show. Patreon.com/SteveCrypto. It's our favorite way because we get to give you guys more content, and we really, really, really want to get some meetups going on there. Maybe like some patron Zoom sessions where we could all connect and chat and talk about this, that, and the other thing, and what we're watching, and all kinds of good stuff. I want to have some fun with you guys. So that's patreon.com/SteveCrypto. There's always the Buy Me a Coffee page, buymeacoffee.com/SteveCrypto. There is the merch. It's our favorite. Get some cool merch. Promote your third favorite podcast. Look really freaking cool doing it. That's on Etsy. Search Steve and Crypto Show, and you'll get all the merch there. Or if you catch us at a convention, we usually carry some merch with us at those events too. And actually, I'm working on some cool stuff that you guys might dig. But if you catch us at conventions, we have all kinds of things. We have mugs and coasters and hats and DVDs of movies we've been involved in or actually been in. All kinds of cool stuff. Do that. Social media. He's CryptoZoo88. I'm the Steve Strout. Follow us both. Reach out to us. We're very responsive. We love hearing from you guys. So do that. Join that group. Facebook. Search Steve and Crypto Show. Join that group. Post stuff. Support some of the stuff you see posted in there. And of course, we're going to promote the shit out of the Steve and Crypto Show in there. And yeah, I think that about wraps it up. Oh, one more thing. Don't forget, promote this episode. Promote all the episodes. Share them. Rate and review them wherever you're listening. That's very important. That's really helpful to the show. It's helpful to the growth of the show. Helps us be heard. And it just makes us feel good knowing that you guys love us. Alrighty, anyways, we do have one more surprise for you before we go. Last episode, we recapped the Creep IE Con, the convention I attended down in Ontario, California a few weeks back. I made a lot of new friends there, met some really cool people. One dude I did meet, he's a great artist. We mentioned him in the last episode, but he's also a musician, a dude named Sammy Ruiz. He sent us a track for you guys to check out. It's called Ghosts of L.A. It's pretty good, man. I like it. It's got a good spooky vibe, a little ghost story to it. But I dig it, and I think you guys will dig it too. So stick around at the end here. We're going to wrap this episode up with Ghosts of L.A. from Sammy Ruiz, and I will link him in the show notes so you can check out more of his tunes and his art. Thank you, Sammy, for hooking us up with the track. I dig it. It's going to go in my regular playlist. And We will see you guys on the next episode. We've been the Steve and Crypto Show. Love you guys. Stay spooky. Happy Halloween. Peace.
Stirring up a fright, the depths of the shadows is where we hide. You better make a run, we're coming out tonight with a ghost. We're the ghost of LA. 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 We're just a little strange in the way we behave. We like spooky things and we're just a bit deranged. If you don't fit in, then you just don't belong. Come on by my side and come and sing along. We're the ghost.